Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Let us start by giving you all a quick brief on what Octanet is. So, Tech Octanet is a budding startup headquartered in Bhubaneswar, specializing in IT solutions across diverse sectors including e-commerce, real estate, automation, and personalized business application. Our primary focus is to provide affordable services to startups, aiding them into their digital initiatives. In addition to our core services, we are expanding into the corporate training sector, aiming to equip future corporate employees with a solid foundation. We also address student needs by identifying academic project requirements, internship opportunities, and offering comprehensive solutions. We are proud to be incorporated as an organization with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, registered with MSME, and approved by AICTE for internship programs. Also, our commitment to quality is underscored by ISO 9001 2015 certification, ensuring that every project we undertake reaches highest standards of excellence. Okay, thank you so much. That was all. Let us now stage our instructor and start today's session.
Hey, hi, hello. I'm audible? Okay, cool. Yeah. So I welcome you all. I'm Salman Sheikh, founder at Scatter and a full stack developer in JavaScript, also an a UX researcher. So in today's session, we'll be going to have a lot of things about full stack and some of our topic for today. And बाकी सारी चीजें हम कल भी देख लेंगे. Okay, so yeah, I'll give you a little brief about today's session. So today we'll be going to have a look on to the introduction to full stack. We'll understand what is full stack, why we call it full stack. Then we'll move forward towards the structure of web pages, where we'll look out to the tags, elements, attributes, forms, inputs, and much more into the HTML5. Okay, so what is full stack? Full stack developer is someone who is familiar with all the layer of full stack development. Now I wanted to tell you one thing about full stack is being a full stack developer is it doesn't mean like that ki you are only an expert in one technology. You have to be aware of all the technologies around the stack. That's why it's called as stack. Okay, so we can call a full stack developer as a jack of all trade. And then okay, so why full stack development is because there are three things about full stack development. Like, so if any organizations hires a full stack developer, so that time they have they particularly look out to the three important things. First thing is the versatility, means जो भी full stack developer है, he will be the expert in multiple specialities, like multiple technical technologies. There will be a lot of technologies he's been going to like work on. So yeah. Then it also cost effective, means when a company hires the full stack developer, so there is a cost effective thing is there, means एक ही person एक ही developer बहुत सारे इसका काम करता है. ठीक है, मतलब बहुत सारे अलग अलग टीम्स के अंदर उसे एक ही फुल स्टैक डेवलपर सारी चीजें साइकिल्स में मेंटेन कर सकता है. Then better problem solving. ठीक है, because a full stack developer has the understanding of front end and back end both. Okay, so we'll look out to all the layers of full stack. Okay, how it is aligned. Wait a minute. Okay, so now you are able to see wormhole is there, right? There are some layers are there. So it's a stack starting from very basics. Okay, then operating system, database, web server, server side code, browser, and then client side code. So what we see on our web browsers, it is a client side code. Okay. But a full stack developer, who is the one who is aware of all of these things, operating system, the database things, the web server things, and even the server side code and logics. So I want to ask, like, how many of you want to eat this, like this burger of full stack? I just wanted to see you in chat, like in the chat box right now. I'm audible to you all. Like, I wanted to like have your engagement into the chat box right now, so we can like move it properly, right? So yeah, this is a full stack burger. Now in this burger, what you are able to see, there are some layers are there, and each layer has different technologies listed over there. See, on the top of that burger, we have the front end technologies: Ajax, AngularJS, PhoneGap, Bootstrap, CSS, HTML5, jQuery, JSON, React. So all of these are the front end technologies. Then we have a layer where we have the like the chip of salad. We have the REST APIs over there, SOAP APIs, API, WebSockets. So all of these are the type of APIs. Then we have database layer, which has PostgreSQL, DB2, MySQL, NoSQL, and yeah. Then we have a backend patty over there. So in that patty, we have different technologies listed: PHP, Python, Perl, Node.js. And in the last, we have a layer of again a bun: AWS, Azure, Google, iOS, Linux. So all of these are like different technologies across, right? So if you wanted to become a full stack developer, you'll need to eat this burger in a way. Like you must need to know about CSS, HTML5, a little bit of JSON, and these are the front end technologies you must need to aware of. Then REST APIs, then any one database, then any one programming language, and then any one platform. Like if you are an Android developer, like Android, iOS for Android, iOS. If you are like a web developer, a full stack web developer, so you must have to be aware of AWS Cloud, Google Cloud, IBM, Windows, and much more, right? So this is the burger which you will need to eat if you want to become a full stack developer. Okay. So I hope all of you are going to eat this, right? I want to see into the chat box how many. So in upcoming days, we'll be going to eat this burger in a proper way. So we are going to start with HTML5, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and then we'll jump onto the React.js, Node.js, MongoDB, and all. Okay. So I hope all of you are excited. I want to see your excitement into the chat box, right? So, what are the front end technologies over there? We have HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and we have front end frameworks, and different libraries: React, Angular, Vue, Next.js. So, HTML, CSS has like these frameworks, like Bootstrap is there, Materialize is there, and JavaScript frameworks has like React, Angular, Vue.js, Next.js. So all of these are the frameworks and libraries of front end. Okay. Let's have a look onto the backend technologies as well. So for the server side languages, we have JavaScript, Node.js, Python, Ruby, PHP. Like database, we have different types of database. We have like SQL and NoSQL. In NoSQL, we can have the Firebase database, MongoDB, and much more, right? And apart from them, we'll also need to have a look onto the web servers. We have Apache, Nginx, the types of web servers to just to deploy our application. So now it was an introduction about this, like about the full stack. Now we'll deep dive into the front end and back end, right? So what is front end? What is front end? What do you think front end is? Okay, so let me tell you what is front end is. So front end is the development of graphical user interface, means the design, the elements, the components which we can see visually. So that is front end. Okay, but in the front end, to develop a proper front end, we use different technologies such as HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And each technology has its own use case. Let's have a look onto the diagram. So in this diagram, now you can see HTML has a structural bone structure of a human, right? And on other side, we have CSS, where we have a person like dressed properly with the attire, with the proper attire and everything. And in the third diagram, we have a nervous system of a human. So HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are the three most important part of a web page. So you can imagine we as a human, like our body structure, our like bone structure, bonical structure, it's like HTML in a web page. Whenever we need to create a website, what we used to do, we write the HTML code, we create the structure of the web page first, and then we design, we style that page with the help of CSS, cascading style sheet. And to make that website interactive, we use JavaScript. So user can interact with the website, such as while I'm clicking on any website, so I can see alert is the pop-up is coming over there. Okay, so this kind of interaction we can do with the JavaScript, and as well as the animations and a lot of things. So as a human, we have a nervous system in our body. That nervous system like interacts with the things like uh, inform about the different senses, smells. So same like that, we have JavaScript in our web page, which can directly interact with the user and fulfill the requirement of the user based on his action. Hope you got it. What is front end, right? So now let's have a look on what is backend. So backend code is the code where all the application logics, where all the database logics we write. We can't see the backend code on our client side. We can't see the backend on our client side because it's on the backend server side, right? It covers all the application logic, the uh, the database logic, where we implement different things, such as like if I want to create a form, so I'll create a form into the front end, right? And I'll submit the form on my front end, the client side HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And once I am done with that submission, that form data will get stored into the backend. And backend has the database connected with it. Got it? So yeah, let's move on. Again, there's one more diagram I have, so you can relate with the backend and front end properly. So we can see the 100% of the front end. Okay, we can see, we as a users can see 100% of the front end, but we can't see the back end. Here, as a full stack developer or a front end developer, only has 20% of effort of any full stack application into the front end, and 80% of the total efforts where the logics, the database is implemented, it's on the back end. Is that clear? Okay. So now this diagram will help you understand what is back end and front end. because in a car we can actually like see the structure of the car, the color of the car, but we can't see the engine, the type of engine, which type of engine this car has, how many gears it has with connected with the engine, and much more thing are in the back end we can't see. Okay, so I hope you are able to understand this concept with the help of the diagram. Now again, there's one more diagram I have. So we have our computer over here. So as a full stack developer, we build the front end application and the back end application. Both the applications like served on to the internet, and it has a REST or WebSocket connection to just to pass on the data between the front end and back end. In upcoming 4 or 5 days, we'll have a look onto that deeply. So let's come on to the today's topic, which is HTML CSS basics. Okay. In this workshop we'll be going to uh, going to have a look practically. Okay, so hope you have VS Code installed in your laptop and all. So I'm going to use IDE over here. Wait a minute, I'm sharing the screen. Am I audible to you all? Hello. Audio is not working. Am I audible now? Okay. So, yeah, sorry for the interruption. I think there has been some internet issue I was facing with, right? Okay. So, I think I'll start from the tags only right now. Okay. So, if we have to create a HTML page, so we use the doc type page over there, right? The doc type tag. So it used to define the version of the HTML, right? The version of the document, or the version of the HTML page, right? Then we have HTML tag. So HTML tag is used to like start the web page, and in the HTML, for each tag, it has it has a syntax, right? So we'll have a look onto the syntax. Uh, right now, I think my notes is visible to you all. So let me show you the syntax of HTML tag. So we write the angle braces, right? Then we write the tag name, such as HTML. Okay. So this is the opening tag. So before starting any tag, we'll need to use the opening tag, and before closing any tag, we'll need to use a closing tag, right? So there's a little bit difference in opening and closing pattern of the HTML tag. We use forward slash to just to close any tag, and we write the name of the tag HTML. Okay. So now this is same for each tag of the HTML. This is same. And the HTML page, we have different tags for different use cases. Okay. So we'll have a look on different HTML tags, right? As we have seen HTML tag. So it's used to start the web page and declare the web page. Then we have head tag. We'll also have a look onto this. Then meta tag, title, link, style, and script. So let's have a hands-on. Okay. So now I'm writing a head tag. I'm closing it, right? So now in this, whatever we are going to write into the head tag, it's being going to use as a metadata of this HTML page, right? So such as I'm writing the title, and I'm closing it, and we'll write the title of the web pages as workshop. So now this title will appear into the browser. Let's see. You can see in the browser we can see the title of the web page, right? And whatever we are going to write over here into the head tag, it's just a metadata. So we have a meta tag as well to define the metadata. We'll have a look onto this in deep, right? What are the meta tags and all. And we have link tag to link the web page with different resources such as images, style sheets, JavaScripts, the external resources. So these are the tags. We have seen the syntax of HTML tag. Now let's create a proper structure of a web page, right? So first we start with doc type, which defines the version of the HTML. Then we'll start the web page writing the HTML tag. Then we use the head tag, which defines the header of the HTML page, and then we close it. Then we have body tag, and we close the body tag as well. So what is body tag is like whatever we are going to write into the body tag will appear into the HTML page, right? Then we close the HTML page. So this is the basic structure of a HTML web page. Okay, cool. So I hope you guys understood this, the structure of the HTML page. And in this, we have title tag, and we write workshop HTML. So this will appear into the browser right now. You can see the workshop HTML is there. So this is a basic structure of a web page. Then each tag has its own use case, right? Such as like the body tag, it's going to show all the elements into the browser. Okay. So now let's have a look on the normal tags of the HTML. What are those? The H1 to H6, the heading tag. So we'll do one thing. We'll write all of these 6 heading tags over here. Okay. I'll write H1 and H. Then there is heading 1. I'll write the text heading 1. I'll need to close this HTML tag. Let's have a look. You can see the heading 1 is visible right on the screen. Now I'll write heading 2, the H2 tag. I'll explain what are these heading tags, but yeah, just have a look right now. So you can see there's a different in size of the heading. Even in our notebook or notepad, we used to write some headings, right? Same thing uh, we use in the web pages as well. We have different types of heading with different types of priorities and sizes. So in the HTML, we have 6 headings. 6 headings. So this heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and heading 6. So all of these 6 headings have different sizes, right? H1 is the bigger one, H2 is the smaller one, S3 is a less smaller than the second one, and respectively. So we use headings to define or declare a topic in a web page. Then we have paragraph. So this is the paragraph tag. We use P and we write the content of the paragraph enclosing into the tag. So you can see now the paragraph is visible. Okay. So these are the basic HTML tags. And let's have a look on to the link tag, which is also an anchor tag, right? So we know in a web page, if I'm on google.com, you can see there are different links are there on this page, right? If I'm clicking on this, so it's going to change the language, right? If I'm clicking on this Parichay or something like wherever it is, like it's going to redirect me somewhere else, right? If I'm clicking on this, So it's changing link. So there is an anchor tag. Okay, there is an anchor tag which used to link any external web page or any link or internal web page with the HTML page, right? So now each tag has different attributes, right? On this anchor tag, it has an attribute called href. It means hyperlink reference. So if I'm writing Google, like https google.com, and I'm closing this tag with click to open Google. Okay, now you can see यहाँ पे मेरे पास link आ चुके हैं. Now we have the link. Okay, so if I'm going to click on this link, it's going to redirect me or open a link google.com. So what we did, हमने हमारे एक वेब पेज के साथ जो है लिंक किया है google.com का पेज. Okay, then we have one more tag as list tag. So these are the basic tags. So there are two types of lists are there, ordered list and unordered list. Even जब भी हम नोटबुक में भी अगर कोई लिस्ट बनाते हैं तो we used to write ordered list 1 2 3 4 5 6 or any alphabet say ABCD set. So for that we use a tag OL. So this is OL tag for the ordered list. So now in this, if we have to create a list item, so we use li tag, which means list item. So if I'm writing banana, okay, then the next list item is apple, the next is orange, or the next is strawberry, right? I can see I need to close this tags, right? See, there will be four list item are there: banana, apple, orange, strawberry, right? So all of these are list items. What are these? List items. So one more example of an unordered list. So we use UL tag. What is UL tag? So in this, we add the list item, same, and now you can see there is dotted unordered list is there, right? So this one is the ordered list, this one is the unordered list. Okay. So now let's have a look onto the basic attributes of the HTML. Right. There are two important attributes which are used in a web page. There is class, ID, class and ID, right? So these are two important attributes we use in HTML tags. To just to like take a reference of the tag or to just manipulate the elements of the HTML page with the reference of this class and the ID. So as I mentioned, both of these are the important one, and also there are some other are there, right? Style and name, then we have value, src, source, and much more. So each tag has the attributes. Okay. Now let's see the image tag. So image tag has two attributes. First src, the source one, and the second one is alt. Okay. Now what is alt and what is src? So alt is the alternative one, right? And the src is for the source, right? So if I want to add an image into an HTML page, so I'll use the image tag. And मैं वहाँ पे image tag के अंदर I'll just put out the reference of the image or the address of the image. Okay, let's say in my folder of this web page, right? Or we can even copy any image from. I'll copy this image address and paste it, or I'll copy this image address. To copy this things now Google something like. So now you can say this is the image, and I want this even in my web page. So I'll just paste the address, write the alt name, sample image. You can see the image is in the web page. Now, why the alt attribute is there? क्यों है वो? Let's say अगर image load नहीं हुई, ठीक है, मैंने image का address जो है हमने गलत डाल दिया. Okay, so if the image address is wrong, let's say whatever it is, then there will be the sample image, which is the alt name of the image, will appear in the web page. Because image to load nahi, image is not loaded over there, but still the alt name is there, right? Okay. Now we have seen the image tag into an HTML, right? So all of these are the basic HTML tags, the basic, very basic tags of a web page, starting from the heading, paragraph, anchor tag, hyperlink tag, ordered list, unordered list, image tag. So these are the basic tags of the HTML. There are a lot of tags in the HTML. So there is table tag, then figure, iframe, button, label, a lot of tags are there. So again, we'll have few more tags, right? We'll create a button in this HTML page. All right, click me. Now you can see there's a click me button appeared over here onto the web page. Okay, I hope it's visible. So this is a button tag. We have created, with the help of that button tag, we have created a button into the HTML page. Okay. Now let's see the HR tag, which is horizontal row tag. This is the one tag which doesn't have the closing, which doesn't even need to close the tag, right? So I have added the horizontal row tag. So you can see there is a horizontal line appeared into the web page. One more tag is there, BR, break tag. So if I'm like using the break tag in my web page, so I can like take a line break. Okay, let's say we have a H1 here, test. and then we have a break tag. And again, we have h1 test 2. So in this, we have a break. So with the help of the break tag, there is a line break between both of these headings. So if I'm removing this break tag, so the line break is not there. Okay. And if I'm adding one HR tag, horizontal row tag between both of these tags, so you can see there's a line between both of these headings. So this is horizontal row. Okay. Now these were like the very basic tags of the HTML. Okay. So let's learn more about the attributes. Okay. So as I said, each tag has the attributes. So there are some common and global attributes used in every tag. First is class, second is ID. So I am giving a class to this element as heading, and the ID is heading 1. So the ID is unique for each element. Class can be the common in the HTML elements. So I can have the same class for each tag, okay, but I can't have the same ID to each tag because each element has the unique ID. So if you are like adding the same ID to each element, it will throw you an error of duplicate IDs. So I need to use ID heading 2, then heading 3, or something like that. So this class and ID attributes are used in each and every tag. Also, this style attribute. This attribute is used to apply the CSS, the inline CSS on an element. So if I am writing color red, so the color of the paragraph will be the red. Okay. Now, if I want the background of this HTML page as green, so I'll add the attribute style. I'll write the property background and green. So you can see the whole HTML page, the body of the HTML page is green right now. Only the paragraph is in red color. So same, if I want the color, text color as white of the body, so it will apply to all the tags. So you can see heading, all the headings are white right now, all the lists, the alt name, headings, everything is right except this paragraph and this link. So with the style attribute, we apply the inline CSS. What? The inline CSS. And in the inline CSS, we write different properties of the CSS. Now, what are those different properties of the CSS? We'll have a look. There are some basic properties of the CSS are there, such as background, color, font, font size. Okay. So all of these are the attributes, right? The style, class, ID. So all of these are the attributes, right? Now in this, as we have the heading as the like the class name, we'll also have a look onto the basic style. Okay. So for that, writing the style in page, we use style tag and we close it. Okay. So now we have the class name heading. So I'll use a class selector dot heading and I'll write the color red. So all headings will be red right now. Okay. So this is what the CSS is applied with the help of the class attribute. And here we had applied the CSS inline onto the element directly with the style attribute. Okay. So in this, the heading is the class and the heading one is the ID. So if I'm writing a CSS for heading one only, so I'll use hash, which is the ID selector in CSS. So now what are the selectors? We'll also have a look. So right now I'm just showing you the example. So in this, we have the color blue. So only heading one will be as of now as a blue color. So in this, we have used two selectors, right? But I'll show you the selectors uh, and the tags and the attributes on slides directly, and then we'll come on to the practical again. Okay. So you can see the HTML attribute, right? So as I mentioned into the editor, that each tag has different attributes. So in that we have seen class attributes, the style attribute, and the alt attribute, source attribute. So all of these are nothing but an additional information to the uh, HTML element, right? These are the common HTML attributes used, like class, ID, alt, href, sarc, as I mentioned earlier as well. So these are used to modify the behavior of an element. So here we have a simple syntax of an HTML tag, an element, which is a anchor tag. So it has an opening tag. So in this opening tag, we write the attribute. Here we have the attributes. The first attribute is href. Then we have the register. Then we have the target attribute, which has the value of self. So this is a simple syntax. And then we have closing tag. So this is a simple syntax for the HTML attributes, as we have seen over here, right? So for the body, we have the style attribute, and in the style attribute, we have the background and the color properties mentioned, right? So this was all about the attributes only, because attributes are nothing but an additional information to the HTML tag only, right? Now we'll look out to the selectors. Okay, what are the selectors? Why they are used, right? As we know, like we have two different attributes in our HTML, like the class and the heading, or it is class and a heading. So in the class and heading, okay, so they have different selectors in the CSS. The first selector is class selector, we'll say class selector. So now in this class selector in CSS, we write the CSS code for a class. Now in this heading, we have a class called heading, right? So whatever the CSS I'm going to change or apply, the styling or color, this will be going to get applied for the class elements only, okay? The heading class elements only. Now in this dot is the class selector. Whenever we write CSS for a class in HTML, we use the dot in the starting. Then there is a syntax, we write the class name as heading. It's the class name. And then we have curly braces, the opening and closing. So in between this both braces, we write our CSS and the CSS properties. So if I'm writing that color is green, black, okay, color is black. So this will be going to apply onto all of these headings, which so this is class selector. Now we're going to remove this inline CSS and we'll just write the selector CSS over there, right? Then we have one more selector called ID selector, where we use hash. Okay, now we have three elements with the IDs. Okay, I also add an ID to the paragraph as well. ID paragraph. Now we'll change the background color of the paragraph. So for that, we'll write paragraph, which is our ID. As we're using the ID selector, right? This is our ID, and we'll use this, right? And I'm going to change the background color of that paragraph as maroon. Now you can see the paragraph background color is changed, right? All of these headings are black right now because our CSS color defining the headings as black will use as green. So now all of these headings will become green. So I think I have this heading. Now in this, we have one more selector called like the global selector or the tag selector something. So for tag selector, we directly write the tag. So as we have the OL and list in our HTML, right? So I'll use the tag selector and I'll change the color of all the list as blue. You can see in the ordered and unordered list, all of the elements are blue right now. Okay, this all of the elements are blue. So there are three important selectors are there. The first one is the class selector. The second one is the ID selector, and the third one is the uh, tag selector. We directly write the tag name and we write the CSS properties in curly braces. So these are three important selectors for us. Okay. So in this HTML page, we have different IDs and different class are there, like heading one, paragraph. So these are the IDs and class. But now I want to change the color of only one banana, like the banana in this unordered list or ordered list. What I'll do, I'll write ID banana. Okay. Again, we have one more unordered list. So in this, I'll write one more ID banana 2. Okay. Banana 1 and banana 2. So both of these are different IDs. So if I want to change the color of banana 1, so I'll use hash banana and I'll change the color, the background color as yellow. So now you can see banana 1 background color is yellow right now because we have used the ID selector. Now I want to change the banana 2's color as blue, the background color as blue. So now in this banana 2, there is a background color added over there, which is visible on the screen is blue. We can take it as green as well, right? Okay, now it's green. What we have seen right now is the selectors, the CSS selectors. So class is the common selector which can multiple elements have. ID is the unique selector, and again the tag is also one common selector because in the HTML page we can have multiple headings and multiple lists and multiple paragraphs. So if I want to change the color of all the headings, all the list and all the paragraphs, so I'll directly change the color of the tag, means I'll use the tag selector. So as I've changed the color of this list, the all list as blue. So now I'll change the background color of all the list as white. So now you can see the background color of all the list is changed. But only banana 1 and banana 2 has the same color as yellow and green. Why? Because we have applied the CSS on their IDs. What? We have applied the CSS on their IDs. So because of that only, the global CSS which we had applied on an list tag, it's been overridden by the properties we have added for the IDs. Banana 1 and banana 2. Hope you all got this right. I'm not audible. Okay. So in this, we have seen different three selectors. The class selector, the ID selector, and the tag selector. So now we'll move forward. Now we'll see the forms in HTML. Forms in HTML. So for forms in HTML, what are those forms? We'll need to understand. So I'm opening a website. I'm showing an example. So on this website, I have this comment form, or right now you're on the YouTube. So you'll be able to see the comment section over there. So that is also a form, right? Where you are going to write. So in this website, we have a form where we write the name, email, website, and the comment, right? So this is an example of a form. So now how we can create a form like this into an HTML? So for that, we use a tag called form tag. Okay. So we'll again create a web page, a new web page. We'll add the head tag. Then title tag. And now this web page has the title called as HTML forms. Now we'll create the HTML form inside of this body. I'll write a h1 tag to show the heading as form. In our HTML, we can see the HTML forms. It's written over there, right? Now we'll create a form here only, a contact form. So for that, we'll need to understand what is form tag. So we have form tag in. So this form tag and the form HTML element has different attributes as we had for the anchor tag. So for the form tag, we have an attribute called method, then class, ID, action. So these are few important attributes used to provide additional information to the form and modify the behavior of the form. So class and ID are the common one which are used in each and every element of the tags of the HTML. Now we'll create a form. So for that, for now, we'll remove the method and we'll remove the action tag, but we'll just create a contact form. There's one more tag is called label. So whenever we go to market and buy a product, right? So each product in the supermarket has a label sticked onto that particular product, right? Whether it is sugar, salt, or whatever it is, right? There's a label over there to just to like differentiate between that, right? So, and that label belongs to that product only. So same thing in HTML, we have a label tag. So a label is used for an HTML element just to take an input from the user. So I'll write name in the label. Then we have input. So now in this input tag, what is it? Input. You know, when you're filling the form, you type your information as an input. So to just to take the information into the HTML page or the HTML form, we use input. So this is the input tag to take the user input into the HTML page. Now this has different attributes. One is type. What type of data you are going to take an input from the user? So text we have. We'll also have a look onto the different types of the inputs. So first, for now, we'll just look around to the text. I'll add an HR. Okay, and then I'll add one more in label, and in this label I'll add message. You can see we have name and message, both of these input elements visible in our web page. Right. So all of these are the basic input of a form. Now we'll add one more HR, a horizontal row, because whenever you fill a form, so you see there is a box to just to type your name or something, right? So we have this in web pages as well. So I'll write the age label and we'll take the type as number. So I'll write my name Salman over here, message hello, and in the age I can't type the text, right? I can't paste just like a little bit of like words or something will be going to get used, but not it's not going to get accept that. So this is a number type of input. So if I'm writing any number over there, so even there's a difference between both of these, the normal text input and the number text input, right? Number input. We have these both of these up and down buttons there to just to change the number value, and we'll also add a submit button. So for submit button, we use input type submit. Now you can see in this form we have name tag where we are going to fill out the name, the message tag where we are going to fill out the hello, and the age as T. And this is the submit button. So in the submit button, so if I'm submitting the form, so this form is not submitted right now because we have just created a simple sample form, right? And few more attributes we have for the input tags as placeholder. So I don't know what to write over here, just label is there, name, but as a user I want an instruction that what I have to write. So I can write the instruction into the placeholder. Enter your name in capital, name in small letters only. So now this is the placeholder. Enter your name in small letter is present over there, right? It's visible, right? So if I'm writing, it's gone. So it's a placeholder to just to give a hint to the user or an instruction to the user that what to fill. So in the age placeholder, I'll write enter your age in number. Now you can see there's enter your age in number. So it is by the placeholder. Okay. Now we'll write a placeholder here on the message as well. Type your message. The short, right? Type your message, right? So now we can see all of this different inputs has different placeholders and different type of user input is. It will going to take the input as text. It will going to take the input as text, and it's just going to accept the numbers, right? So these are the important tags in a HTML form, and the type and placeholder are the important attributes in the HTML input element. We also have one more attributes called as name of this field. So we have the name, so we'll write as name. So name is an attribute we write to just to give the name to that input field. What? To just to give the name to that input field. So I'm adding one more attribute over here as message, and one more attribute as age. So now this field is going to identify as name, message, and age. And on the label tag, we also have one more attribute called for. So here we mention the ID of the input. So now this ID of this input is name. So I'll just put the name into the form for. So now this label is going to connect with the input only, this input only. It's going to represent that it's the one and only label for this input. Okay. So in this HTML form, we have seen two types of elements of an input: number and text, and the type submit. So I'll add few more inputs, right? I'll add the label called profile picture, and we'll use the file type input. So you can see the type of this input in the attribute is file. So now in our HTML, it's asking to upload a picture. So if I'm clicking on this, so I'll need to upload a picture. So now you can see in our form, we have this profile picture file upload option is there into the HTML. So this was all about the form. And there are a lot of different types of an input. Let's have a look. So you can see time, date and time, local, month. So if I'm selecting the day, so you can see now you're able to access the calendar onto the input, right? So if I'm selecting any date, so it's visible over here, right? This is all about the type of the attribute. Okay, which type of input is this? Date, time. So if I'm selecting the time, and I'm refreshing this, so you can see there is a clock, AM and PM is there, right? So right now it's 7:30 PM. So I selected 7:30. You can submit it, right? So this is what we have in HTML forms. So now in this form, if we have to design this form in a proper styling, now this is a structure of a form only. So if we have to design, then we'll need to add the CSS respectively to each element of the form. And let's do that. Okay, we have created a form. We'll style this form in uh, very good uh, like look or something, right? So now we have closed this form, and I'll I'll make it file again. Now we'll add a class to this form as form, ID as form, and then we have this input. So we'll write the style over here directly, and we'll use the selector, the ID selector, class selector, and what the tag selector. So now first I want this h1 into the center of the I want this h1 into the center of the HTML page. So I'll write the H1 and I'll take text align center and the color as blue. So this will be in the center of the page and we have the color as blue, right? Now we'll take this form into the center. We'll add some border and all to that only. Now I'll use the ID selector form. Okay. I want this form into center. So I'll take the margin auto. Then we'll take the text alignment as center, right? Okay. Hope you guys are able to understand. Okay. So we have taken this center. So now you can see our HTML form is in center right now. We'll add a background color to this form as sky blue. And we'll add a width as fit content. So now this form is in a box right now. Okay. Okay. So now I want this form to be in a structure. So for that we'll use property padding and I'm refreshing this. You can see now it's in a structure. So this is how we create the HTML form, right? With the help of CSS and all. So as we have styled this form into the sky blue color in the background, and then the message, name, and age, we'll try to add more fields into this. So as we have added the profile picture, we'll also add the address, and here will be the text area tag. Text area tag. So this tag is used to take the longer input from the user. See, now you can see there is an address tag is there. So if I'm writing any longer input, so I can make it bigger and all, right? You can see. So I can write the address into this. So we use text area tag for the longer inputs. In this, we also have an input called color. So we'll take the favorite color as label and we'll use the input type color. Now you can see we are creating a form and then I'm able to select the color from the input, right? With the help of this input type, we can actually access the color codes in our form. So now this was an example of HTML form. We have added a little bit of style onto this with the help of the ID selector. We have like modified a little bit of the type of the inputs, such as file and color. We have also uh, the color type, and a lot of types are there, like the attributes. So this was an example of a HTML form. Okay, hope you got it. Now we'll again deep dive into more things, right? Now, what are those things? See, we have created an HTML form. Now we'll submit this form. We'll submit this form with the help of a little bit of JavaScript. But we'll understand the full JavaScript tomorrow. But for today, we'll just try to submit this form. So for that, we have an attribute called method. So this method will be get, and the there's one more uh, tag is there, action attribute is there, action. Action will be the final page where the user will be going to get redirect. So this is the action attribute. But for now, we just submit this form. So now you can see if I'm writing name and typing the message as hello, age, and if I'm selecting any profile picture, address, and my favorite color, and submitting this, you can see the form is submitted, but the change is in the URL only, right? Whatever I had written into the form, I had filled into the form. So this is over here. Because of that, we are using the get method, right? Because of that, it's appeared over here. So now what we have to do, once the sub form is submitted, we have to uh, make an alert your form is submitted or something. For that, we use a basic JavaScript, very basic JavaScript. I hope all of you are aware of JavaScript, but yeah, a basic of JavaScript will look. Okay, so I'll use the inline JavaScript directly. Okay, so once I'm submitting the form, on click of this form, we'll make an alert. Form is submitted. Okay, now you can see I'm refreshing this, typing the name, hello, age, loading a file, the address, and selecting the color and submitting this. So you can see my browser is telling me that the form is submitted. Okay, the form is submitted right now. If I'm clicking on OK, the form is blank. मतलब जो हमने form fill up किया था, it's blank right now. So with the help of JavaScript, we can submit the form and do much more things. So we have what we have learned today into this is specifically the the structure of a web page, CSS selectors, the attributes of HTML elements and few of the HTML elements. Now we'll have a look on semantic of the HTML5, right? Okay, the semantic of the HTML5. I'll create one more HTML file here, index2.html. So again, I'm showing you the structure of an HTML page. We write doc type to define the version of the HTML. We start with the HTML tag. Then we add a head tag. And in this head tag, use title. So now this will be semantic. Okay, HTML5 semantic. There will be a body tag directly. So now in this body tag, we'll write the code. Okay. So the structure is something like this. We have the HTML, then we have head, title of the web page, then we have body, and then it's closing. In the body, we'll write the code. See, if I'm writing in a heading, semantic HTML, right? So you can see in the browser, it's visible, right? We can also preview this on the Google Chrome. So semantic HTML5 is visible, right? So now in this, what are the semantic in HTML5? So this will understand right now. So in the HTML web page or an HTML document, we have few structure for like different types of uh, use cases, right? So with respect to that, we have different tags around it. So what is semantic HTML then? I'm showing an example. We are onto the website called medium.com. Okay, it's a blogging website. Now in this website, we have this medium logo, these buttons, we have this sidebar, we have these body content and these tags, menu, right? So all of these are different sections. What are this? Different sections. This is a sidebar, this is header, navigation, main, then in the bottom, footer. All of these are different sections are there. So in HTML5 and HTML, each section has its tag to create the structure web page. So in this semantic HTML, we have a tag called header, which is the top side of an HTML page. So in this element, header tag or header element, all the titles, logo of the web page, and everything will be present over here, such as this, like the H1. medium medium.com. So this is present into the header in our page. Now this is into the header, right? Then we have another section as nav. It means navigation, menu. With this semantic element, we can navigate to different pages. Let's say we have this menu. Medium.com is on the header. We have this element called nav. Then we have section and main tag. So first, the main tag or main element will consist all the content of a web page inside of it. Then we have one more tag called aside. So now this tag is used to define the side of an HTML web page. In this main tag, in the main page, right now I'm just showing you the structure of the web page. We'll also have a look onto a diagram, right, to just to understand in deep. So in the main tag, we have all our content, such as article. Article tag is one of the semantic elements. So now in this article, you can have the article's title in S2. We'll write this S2. Then close this element and we'll write article title. So now this is being a blogging website, right? A blog web page or something. So we'll also have a paragraph and the content of the article over here. Okay, this is an article about HTML5, HTML. Okay. Now we can see we have this as a header, this as a navigation, this as a sidebar. Then we have the article title and the post. Now all of these elements are written into a structure, right? See, we have the header, then we have navigation, aside, main. So all of these are the semantic element of HTML. What are these semantic elements of the HTML? So now we'll differentiate each section with the help of CSS in this HTML, right? So we'll write style and we'll use tag selector in this HTML page. I'm using this one, right? You can see now I have added a CSS over here. So this is into the header. This is on a side. Then we have the navigation, then the article and the article paragraph. Now we'll change the color of the header. The background color will change to yellow. Now you can see our header section has the yellow color. Right. Then we have the navigation. So we'll also differentiate the navigation with the another color. So for nav, we'll use the nav, and this background will be green. So this is the navigation tag, or the navigation section, with the background of green. Now we'll change the color of main as light green. So this is our main tag. In the main tag, we have article title and the article content. So what we did, we have used all the semantic elements such as header, nav, aside, main, article in our HTML page. So header, and then we have navigation. So in the navigation, we used to add the navigation into web page. With the help of this navigation, anyone can like visit or open different pages of the website and different web pages linked with the web page. So as this is the sidebar aside, so we'll just add a CSS to the aside text align left. So now we have the sidebar on to the side, the navigation on center, the article is in the center. So all of these are the semantic elements. What are these? Semantic elements. Header, nav, aside, main. So all of these are the semantic elements. Then also we have the article. So these tags are used to define its own property, such as like the article title defines to the browser that it's an article exist into the web page. Semantic elements define themselves with the names: article, header, footer. Yeah, we forgot to add footer, right? Footer. No, footer is also there. We'll add the CSS to footer as well. Now you can see each section has its own CSS, has its own property. So this is semantic in HTML5. I hope all of you understood today's topic, whatever we have learned till now. The, the basic structure of an HTML page, the CSS selectors, the HTML forms and inputs, and the HTML tags. Also, the most important one, the attributes. So we have created two web pages today. First one is the semantic HTML one, uh, the HTML form we have had created. We created this, and this we have added some of the fields of the HTML form where we can type our name, message, age, profile picture, and address, and then favorite color. So also fill again. This is for message. It will and this is the number input, and this is the file input, and this is the file output. Here we are uploading the file, and when we submitting this form, it's getting submitted, right? So this is the HTML form. So we have seen inputs, label, text area tag, and much more tags in form. So just understand this: the attributes are nothing but used to provide an additional information to the element, and also used to modify the behavior of an element or tag. Tomorrow we'll learn JavaScript in a proper way. Sorry for the inconvenience we have had into the meeting. The voice was a little bit, I think there's an internet issue I had today. But from tomorrow, we'll deep dive into the JavaScript properly, step by step, such as variables. But for today, I think, hope you all understood the basics of HTML and the structure of an HTML page. So I want your questions right now into the chat box. I want your questions. If you have any questions, just drop into the chat box. And okay, so the same time we'll have a class tomorrow. We'll learn JavaScript, and yeah, I'll share the files. Okay, whatever we have learned today, and yeah, thank you so much for your time. And okay, yeah, sure. We'll share you the code and everything we are going to learn in the upcoming days. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.